What's up guys, it's your boy Milano Miguel, back at it again with another video. Today is match day 3 in the Europa League, so here we go. Please do not forget to enter into the jersey giveaway. I'm trying to do something nice for the community. Get your friends, your family to like and subscribe. Match day 3 in the Europa League, AC Milan versus Lille. We are coming off of a 24-game unbeaten streak, and we're looking to use this game to solidify our standing in Group H and be able to qualify for the knockout round for the Europa League. Here was the starting lineup against Lille. We had Donnarumma, Dalot as right back, giving Calabria some rest. Kier, Romagnoli, De Hernandez, Kessié and Sandro Tonali getting a start, giving Benacer some rest. Castillejo, Brahim Diaz, Rade Krunic, and Zlatan. Now, I kind of thought that the Zlatan one was kind of odd because Zlatan might need some rest, but hey, we trust Padre Pioli. Now into the game, it was kind of a bit of a shaky start for Milan. They let Lille, string their passes, and Lille came out energetic and came out enthusiastic, ready to play ball. Hernandez had an opportunity that went wide of the net, and for the most part, it was fair enough for Milan and Lille. But then Jonathan David would make this brilliant run, and Gianluigi Donnarumma would come to Milan's rescue, which is a red flag for Milan to pick it up on defense and be more defensively aware. And again, I've said this before that in my previous videos, it looks like fatigue and tiredness is settling into this team who hasn't been able to catch a break, and we don't have as much depth in this team. So yeah, Lille were settling into the game. It seemed like they kind of had a good presence in the midfield. Then from there, things would end up worse. Alessio Romagnoli would concede a terrible penalty. Basically, him and Yazici were in the box, and Romagnoli put his hand on him and kind of pushed him. It was a soft penalty because Yazici obviously sold the contact, but in no way should Romagnoli be putting your hand on another player and pushing them. So penalty was conceded. Yazici steps up, and Yazici scored a hat-trick against Spartak Prague. He steps up, sends Donnarumma the wrong way, beautiful penalty from him. Milan go down 1-0. Milan would then get a free kick, and Ibrahimovic would step up and send it over the wall, but straight into the keeper's hands. Maybe we could have gotten a rebound on that, but not much to that one. And personally, in my opinion, after Milan conceded that penalty and they went 1-0 down, it seemed like the defense just got completely shaky. People were just being lazy. People look very tired and fatigued, like nobody's running back as much. I'll give it to Simon Kjaer. I think that he was probably the best defensively in this game, but the defense definitely looked a bit shaky. Theo Hernandez would also get a beautiful ball placed him in the box, and he would send that shot straight at the keeper. Not the best from Theo. Could have been more clinical, but it didn't happen. Again, Milan looking fatigued, very frustrating, not the best. It kind of looked like Udinese last weekend. A bunch of bad passes, bad crosses. It just looked like Milan were just out of it completely. And at halftime, Milan were losing 1-0. You're thinking in your head, Milan need to just take this half, which was not the worst half. Take it, rub it off, and just go on and try to get something from this game. We're only losing by a goal, which isn't terrible. And we've had instances where we're losing by a goal or 2 goals and we end up coming back. So it wasn't impossible, and that's what we hoped for. Rafael Leao and Hakan Çalhanoğlu would come on to replace Rade Krunic and Samu Castillejo. And we had a couple corners, but the crosses weren't the best. People couldn't get their heads to it. The delivery was just not the best method out there for Milan. And my oh my, do I have to say, Renato Sanchez, who also was once a Milan target, completely dominated that midfield in that second half. He was bossing people off the ball like nobody's business. He bossed off Tonali, he bossed off Brahim Diaz, he bossed off Franck Kessié. He was an integral part of that midfield, and I think that Lille's midfield was definitely tightly compact. They knew what they were doing, they knew their roles, they knew what they had to do. They had the energy, the intent, and I think that a lot of people truly didn't understand what we were getting to when Lille was in this group. They have talented players. Lille had Rafael Leao, and we had an interest in him. They had Victor Osimhen. They've had quality players in their sides. Again, getting dominated in the midfield, a bad game for Kessié, but things would turn worse when Donnarumma would make a silly keeper error, conceding a goal in the 55th minute, again by Yazici. He takes a beautiful shot, Donnarumma doesn't really time his diving, dives a little too early, kind of gets a bounce off of him and goes into the net. It happens, it's a mistake, not one of the best mistakes you'd like to make, but when you're deemed as a world-class keeper, when you are hailed as one of the best keepers currently in the top 5 leagues, and especially with the amount of wages that he's on, to make that error, it wasn't the best. But again, things like this happen, so we needed to just bounce back from that. 2-0 down for Milan. But then it would get worse. 3 minutes later, Yazici would find his 3rd and final goal, sealing his hat-trick against Milan, which would then lead to the worst European defeat in Milan's history. The worst result before that was 2-0 at home at the San Siro, and this topped that. Again, this is a point that I'm going to continue to reiterate on. Players look tired, players look sluggish, fatigue is starting to settle in. Benacer and R.I.P would come on in the 61st minute, and I think that when R.I.P came on, he did bring something to the table. You know, replacing Tonali and Zlatan. Tonali didn't really have the best games. I'm not saying he had a bad game, but the creation from that midfield wasn't it. And Tonali and Benacer are 2 different players. Benacer's long ball passing has been quite integral for the team. And Zlatan's just old. 60 minutes is enough. He needs some rest because we're probably going to use him on Sunday against Hellas Verona. So R.I.P came in, he had that one opportunity, taking a shot from a quite difficult angle, but the keeper parried it and made a save, so that was good from him. Auge would come on to replace Brahim Diaz in the 78th minute. I think Brahim Diaz had an okay game. He had a couple opportunities, but he was getting bossed in the midfield by the Lille players who are a bit bigger and stronger and faster than him. But he had a couple opportunities where he had some good passes or attacking output for the team. Jonathan Bamba would almost score, but would narrowly miss wide. That was a dangerous opportunity. And this was just a bad showcase from Milan. Rafael Leao, playing against his old team, had an opportunity to get one back for us, kind of like last season when we played against Fiorentina and he got the consolation goal. But Rafael Leao would miss and go wide. That just shows you how the finishing was not clinical at all in the final third today. We were just off, completely off as a team. Like I said, a loss was inevitable. It was going to happen. We were riding the momentum on this unbeaten streak as much as we can, but what really matters is how are they going to react from this loss. Milan is not a top side, okay? Like, we don't have the depth and quality that these big clubs have, such as Bayern Munich. We don't have that depth and quality for rotation. We're using the same 11 to 14 guys in every match day, and they're not getting as much rest because they're playing 2 games a week. Milan is still in the rebuilding stage, and we had some good momentum, and we just need to continue to build off of that. We have Hellas Verona on Sunday, and it's going to be like, how are these players going to react? Are they going to be pissed? like how they reacted after the 3-3 draw against Roma, or are they just gonna go out there and just shit the bed again? A lot of people underestimated Lille as a team. I definitely put this in my Europa League preview that Lille would probably be the side that gives us the most problems in this group. And lo and behold, they came and they showed that they have quality players in there. You can't be underestimated. They're sitting second in Ligue 1, so they were definitely a quality team. This wasn't going to be an easy game. This wasn't going to be an easy win like Celtic or Sparta Prague. But again, we just need to bounce back from it. 3-0 loss, shake it off, you dust your head off, and you continue, because it's a long season ahead. We're only match day 3 in the Europa League, and then in Serie A, we've completed match day 6. We still have a long way to go. There's 32 games in Serie A still left, and then Europa League, we still have 3 games. Hopefully we can make it out of the group into the elimination stage, which I think we can still do. But it's quite frustrating because now that we have this loss, we don't get to rotate our players as much and be more comfortably in this group. But that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for watching. Forza Milan. Peace.